Happy Friday, everybody. How do? How do? How's everybody doing this fine Friday? Can y'all hear me? Can you see me? Can you hear me? Can you see me? Are we good in these streets? I don't want nobody messing with me in these streets. Hey. Um, so yeah. I'll just wait for confirmation that I'm heard and seen and we all good in these streets. Let's move this back a little bit. Thank you very much. Um, thank you, Amy. Where is everybody? Geez, you make one mistake and nobody shows up the next day. What up, Cajun? All right, so what happened to me yesterday? So I'm still feeling like crap. And so, yeah, I usually wake up about 5 a.m. Um, and even that's not early enough for me. I feel like I should be up at like 3 o'clock in the morning, but sometimes I am. Last night I actually was up really late. Last night, but not the night before. Anyway, so yesterday I usually wake up about 5 o'clock. I figure out, what's going on. What are people, moaning about on social media and all that stuff. And I don't know. I got up. Everything was fine, and then like I said, I still feel like crap. So I was like, oh, I'm a little tired. I think it was about maybe 7 a.m. and I was like, oh, I'm just gonna take a little nap. Cardinal rule. We all know this as grown people. When you are sick and you have stuff to do, you cannot lay down. So I did the stupid thing. I laid down. Now it was supposed to be an hour nap. Now what I didn't do, which was the thing that caused the whole thing to just not for me to not have a show yesterday, is I didn't set the alarm for an hour like I usually do. Like if I'm gonna like lay down for a little bit, I'll just set the alarm for however long, and then whatever. Didn't set it, forgot. Went and laid back down, and literally when I got back up and looked at my phone, it was time to start. And not only was it time to start, I had done nothing. Like there was no show. It wasn't like I could just get up, wipe the coal out my eye, and start talking. Like literally, there was nothing. I had no show until I was like, "Oh my god, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? What am I gonna?" I was like, "Well, we just will have a show today," and I felt terrible about it. But yeah, so that's just the key. Um, if you're not feeling well and you have stuff to do not lay back down. If you do lay back down, please make sure you have your alarm set so that you don't do what I did yesterday. So yes, we're here today. I didn't, I woke up this morning like usual, and I didn't lay back down. Just ridiculous. Jeez, fix it, Jesus, fix it, Jesus. Anyway, so we're here, and we're alive, and we made it, and today, so in light of this whole Gavin Newsom crap, it gets me to thinking because they do this every 2 and 4 years, right? They come out, they pull out all the stops, they try to show just really how stupid they think certain demographics are, and sometimes y'all prove them right. But well, a lot of the times y'all prove them right. But whatever it is, what it is. So we're gonna talk about the soft bigotry of low expectations today, and because this is a conversation that will need to be had every time until folks wake up, until folks realize that you're being played, you've been had, you've been took, you've been hoodwinked, you didn't land on Plymouth Rock landed on you. So until you figure that out, it's never going to change, right? You have to be the one to change it. And it just infuriates me to watch these politicians. So with the whole thing with Gavin Newsom this week, literally talking to a black man who's interviewing him, telling him, yeah, I'm just like you. I'm stupid just like you. I got a 900 on my SAT just like you. And I'm like, where do we do this? And then you have clips of him talking to white people. He's talking about all the books he's read and how great it is. And I'm like, you don't see, okay, No, 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 no. If you're the aspiration, you should be aspirational when you talk to me, right? You shouldn't be, oh, it's, I understand, dog. I'm saying. And then what was so funny is the funniest of them all is Roland Martin. Well, he's one of the dumbest ones too, and the funniest. And you're fat. I just don't understand fat people who have leadership positions. I never got it. But anyway, I'm AJ. I'm over here minding my business. And so he, when the black people went to the White House for the Black History celebration, he kept replying, calling them the help and calling them stupid and all. It's just mean. Meanwhile, this is the same man who did this.
That's how I told y'all need the music. Don't let the ass.
Could you imagine? Could you imagine if I'm thinking, if Wesley Hunt or Byron Donalds or John James or any Republican black man in Congress or media did this in front of Donald Trump or for Donald Trump, we would never hear the end of it.
That's how I told y'all need. That's how I told y'all.
And then you got the dumb blacks in the back. It's not funny. It's not funny. It's not smart. It's not good policy. It's just dumb all around. So let's unpack this, shall we? Let's rant a little bit because I got a lot to say on this stupidity. And we just basically need to say it for the people in the back, pretending they don't see it, they don't hear it, just like they did with this Gavin Newsom thing this week. I what are you talking about? He wasn't talking to majority black crowd. He was pointing at a black man saying, "I'm just like you." And the only reason why he brought it out to the audience is because he was probably just smart enough to realize what he was doing. And so he tried to say, no, 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 I'm like y'all too. Oh, baby. No. Y'all can play that stupid game if you want to. And then also, and then the black liberals, running to defend this man like he's some great politician who's done so many wonderful things for their black asses, running to defend him. And we're sitting here like the track record speaks for itself. And we're going to pull out, oh, we got the receipts. We're going to play a few videos. We're going to play a few videos. We're going to get to the point because what we're not going to do is sit up here and act like we crazy. It's like Ilhan Omar trying to gaslight that reporter who was like, you said white men are the biggest threat. He's like, I didn't say that. I didn't say that. Of course, I can't show it to you in this moment, but you did say it. And then fast forward, bam, she said it. But anyway, so the soft bigotry of low expectations is when let's unpack that. So this is when you literally treat grown people, able people, capable adults, you treat them like fragile children, right? And then you turn around and you call it compassion. Oh yeah. Oh yes, ladies and gentlemen. It's when somebody looks at a black kid, a poor kid, a Latino kid, or anybody from one of these alleged marginalized groups, and you say, you know what? The standards are just too high for y'all. And you think that's kindness. That's kind of like when Oprah walked into that store at somewhere in Sweden or whatever, and they were like, "Oh, you can't afford this bag, so we could sell you this bag, but you can't afford this bag." Not knowing this is Oprah freaking Winfrey. She could buy this store if she wants to. That's what they do to y'all, and y'all fall for it every single time, right? And so they try to pass it off as kindness, right? And literally, what it is disrespect. It's a disrespectful hug. So yeah, so they dress it up like, "Oh, I'm trying to help you," but let's unpack what this stupidity is. If you lower the bar for people because of the color of their skin, if you assume that a person like me can't pass a test without it being adjusted, If you assume that I can't compete unless the rules are changed for me, you're not actually helping me. You're telling me you don't think I'm capable, that I'm stupid, that I'm subpar, that I'm a subhuman, even, right? And that, whether you mean to or not, is a form of prejudice. Of course, it's not the wild cross. See, here's the thing: when we think of racism and prejudice and all these things, we think of like the cross burnings. We think the racial slurs. No, 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 no. The worst kind of racism and bigotry and prejudice is the soft kind. Right, right, right. It's the smiling kind. The we want to help you. I'm going to use my white privilege. When they do that, right, right. When they do that, yeah. But here's the problem: when you lower standards for whatever equity or whatever it is y'all want to call it, when you eliminate gifted programs because the racial percentages aren't even, when you remove testing because the results make you uncomfortable, what you're actually saying to people is we don't believe certain groups can meet excellence. Ladies and gentlemen, that is not progressive. That's not progressive. That's patronizing people, right? Right. You're literally telling them you can't do it, right, out the gate, and so therefore, because you can't do it, because you're naturally dumb, which isn't the case, right? That's looking at somebody and saying life is hard. So and we don't expect much from you. Like, excuse you, moi, excuse me. Since when did empowering mean lowering the finish line, right? Or when did that happen? When we get there, but let's get 1000% real. High expectations are respect. hmm The standard that Donald Trump sets for his administration, for the people he keeps around him, that's respect, right? Standards are respect. Accountability is respect. You know what's not respect? Assuming somebody needs permanent accommodations because of where they came from. Oh, yes, 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 yes. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You don't fix inequality by shrinking excellence. In fact, you should expand excellence. You should want the excellence to expand, right? So when a Gavin Newsom gets on a platform, when he gets on all the smoke podcasts and he wants to talk about eating Wonder Bread and playing, working with basketballs and stuff, yeah, yeah, we don't care about that because we know you're lying. And then we know that these two cowards interviewing you don't have the courage to check you because they don't want to mess up this opportunity. And any other Democrats down the pipeline who want to come visit the podcast, so they're not going to push back, not even in the slightest, right? They're just going to say, and coon out. Oh, YouTube don't like that word. Raccoon out. You don't fix inequality by shrinking excellence. You fix it by raising preparation. This is what I've always said. It's not that people are dumb. It's that they weren't prepared to meet the moment, right? You're not naturally stupid, right? But you don't know what you don't know. But anyway, now I hear all these people saying, all the black victims every time I'm in a live stream. But AJ, what about the systemic barriers? Yeah, no, let's talk about them. So, your schools are unequal. Fix them. Oh, damn. What a solution. All right. If your neighborhoods are broken, fix them. If the policies are bad, fix them. What do you want? A magic wand? Do you think a genie's going to come down and magically make it better? No. You have to be at the forefront of that. You have to adopt that change. You have to elect the right people who isn't going to steal the tax dollars coming from the federal government and actually put it in the budget lines and use it for the community. Y'all keep electing these people. Y'all keep turning a blind eye and acting like you can't take 20 minutes out of your day to start to figure out the political system, the political ecosystem in your neighborhood. Y'all do that, right? But don't tell me the solution is to quietly decide, yeah, they probably can't do it anyway. That mindset is literal poison. It's literal mental slavery because once society expects less from you, it eventually gives you less. Less opportunity, less discipline, less achievement, less respect. All of that begets. But we don't want to have that kind of. So the bottom line is the bigotry, the soft bigotry of low expectations is dangerous because it feels moral. Again, what does that emotionalism? We talk about this in the left all the time. Emotionalism. They're going to make you feel, right? Which is not logical, right? The bigotry of low expectations is dangerous because it feels moral. It sounds compassionate, but underneath it is this quiet, ugly assumption is we don't think you can handle the same standard. And if you really believe people are equal, then expect them to rise. Challenge them, push them, hold them accountable. Oh, no, 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 no. Excellence is not oppression. And lowering the bar is not love. And and one of my favorite people in Congress right now is Congressman Wesley Hunt. And I'm gonna play a video where he was on the Stephen A. Smith show, and he literally just broke down his family and why they are successful and why they are thriving and why people need to be brought to the moment and not the moment bastardized so that they can get on board.
Gavin Newsom, I can feel one way about it. How did you feel about it?
I call it the soft bigotry of low expectations. There are a lot of black men and women that aren't like that. A lot of us really did study hard. We really did work very hard. You see, I had parents that believe in education. We had a sign in our house that said Jesus plus education equals success. There's a reason why my brother, sister, and I all went to West Point. There's a reason why I earned 3 master's degrees and 4 years from Cornell University. My brother is a Harvard Business School graduate. My sister has her master's degree in applied mathematics. It was a West Point instructor while both my brother and I were cadets, and we were black doing it the entire time. And so when you say that I can't read and I have a 960 SAT, the insinuation that you are putting on all black people is that we are a monolith, is that this is how you view us. This is what you really think about us. And look, I understand some of it may have been a little bit tongue-in-cheek and he was pandering to an audience, but for whatever reason, I see a lot of pandering that comes from the left. I think about Hillary Clinton carrying hot sauce in her purse. I think about Joe Biden saying, if you don't vote for me, then you ain't black. I think about Kathy Hochul talking about, black kids don't even know what a computer is. And I see these kinds of things and I just shake my head. That is not who we are as a people. Now, Stephen, you talk about you didn't do good on your SATs, but you have a pretty extensive vocabulary, as I have heard over the years. So clearly you're an astute man and you have studied quite a bit. But that's just it. We are not the same. And you have to understand why that's insulting to people like me. Gavin, you're not like me. I studied my butt off to get here. I worked my butt off to get here. Hard work, grit, determination, and I'm standing on my own 2 feet as a black man that represents a white majority district that President Trump would have won by 20 points, and I won by 25 points because I'm being judged not by the color of my skin, but by the content of my character. And there are a lot of conservative white people and black people and Hispanic people that voted for me, but under no circumstances are you going to just belittle us by assuming that all black people have a 960 SAT and we could barely read.
And then y'all took y'all black behinds to X and all the socials and see the audience wasn't remember. Y'all defended this man and it was hilarious to watch y'all shuck and jive as y'all claim we do, because we don't shuck and jive. We will tell you where to go and how to get there, no matter what you look like, no matter who you voted for. Right. So we are not the same. I will not sit in a room and allow a Republican to spew some racist crap and not push back. We are not the same. But I want to make this clear before we start, because this isn't academic for the kid, for me. Yeah, it's not academic. This isn't political cosplaying. This isn't something I read in a think piece. No, literally, this is my life, right? I've lived this, right? Being born in New York City, growing up in the projects, yeah, you literally understand what the soft bigotry of low expectation is from basically the time you can comprehend the world around you, right? So I literally lived inside of it. So there's no smoke you can pull over my eyes. There's no trauma story you can try to bond with me over because I don't care, right? Growing up in the projects, there was always a ceiling, right? It always felt like there was a ceiling, like this, this, this imaginary place you can't go past because nobody really announced it, but nobody printed it on a banner, but you definitely, absolutely 1000% felt it. There was this unspoken rule about what was allowed for you to do, at the parameters, what were you allowed to do because your skin had this much melanin in it, right? Or, if you read too much, which was me, you think you're better than everybody. If you explore different music, which I did, you trying to be white. If you ask too many questions, you doing too much. And, and I was a questioning kid. I questioned everything. Why we were poor. Why does everybody seem so defeated? Why does the color of my skin supposedly determine how far I can go? I mean, I can go on and on and on. I used to just ask questions. Why are so many people counting themselves out before they even try? Hmm? That defeat, that literal mindset, I never understood it. And it hit me harder than anything else. I even go back to my first summer job. I was 14 years old. And I remember a grown man. He was like one of those black Hispanics. Um, and I guess he was like the administrative assistant or like the front desk person at the place or whatever that I was doing my little summer job or whatever. And I remember him having a conversation with me and a few other people who also were there in the summer program, and he was telling us, that the color of his skin, because of the color of his skin, he would never be able to achieve what the white people in the office were accomplishing. And I was just the stupidest, I didn't I didn't have the words for it then. I'm 14, I didn't have the words, but I knew something about that statement was stupid. It was wrong. And I didn't understand why someone would disqualify themselves before they even tried to compete. I never got it. Why would you treat your skin like a disability? It was always baffling to me. And that was my first real encounter, like that I could, in the workplace, with the soft bigotry of low expectations, right? And it didn't come from this rabid racist white Republican. It came from someone who literally looked like me, right? And then the projects that I grew up on, like if you were gonna grow up poor, I grew up in the ideal place to grow up poor because literally my projects was in the middle of all of this wealth. Like you literally cross the street, there's Lincoln Center. You cross the street, there's $1 million condominiums. Central Park. I mean, old money. I mean, real money. These people had these. This is generational money. And then in the back of the projects, because there's the taller buildings that we lived in, there were smaller buildings, project buildings, and then across the street on that was West End Avenue, and that's the Hudson River. So on West End Avenue is where the Trump buildings went up, and then another set of condominiums went up behind us. So we had just wealth and opulence all around us. We saw the people with the stuff, the doormen, the heated cars in the winter, the cooled off cars in the summer. We saw it. We saw it. The nannies, the tailored suits, the furs, yes, 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 yes. So I saw literal success every single day of my life. So I had to ask myself, because I ask a lot of questions. I told y'all this. I'm very consistent, y'all. Been very consistent most of my life. And I was like, why am I locked out of this? Or and then ask the further question is, am I really locked out of this, right? Or are people telling me I'm locked out of this, right? And then that literally started to shape my political ideology more than anything else, because everyone in my neighborhood was a Democrat for the most part. And the narrative was simple: Democrats are for poor people and Republicans are for rich white people. There was no nuance. There was no, oh, and there might be anomalies. It was no, 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 no. Literally, that's what the line was. Okay, you belong over here and they're going to be over there, right? And then I saw this beautiful black woman named Condoleezza Rice and this stoic black man named Colin Powell. The problem with these two black people is that they were serving in the Bush administration. So I was like, wait a minute. If the Republican Party is about rich white people, how these two people get over here? And so, and not only are they over there, they're serving in the highest levels of government, right? They're not just like, the doorman or something. They're serving in the cabinet, right? So of course, here we go with me and more questions. I got more questions. If Republicans only care about rich white people, what they doing over here? hmm That literally started to form the cracks in the script for me. And And I have to be clear, even though I've never committed to being a Democrat, there was still, when you grow up in New York City, when you grow up in that environment, you still have very liberal tendencies in some things, right? Because that's just the environment you were exposed to. But and so everything didn't switch overnight. But I stopped inheriting. There wasn't this political loyalty. Like when I first registered to vote, I was like, I don't know, I really don't know, And so even though I kind of knew, but I didn't know. Wait, what's the stupid thing Candace always says? I don't know, no, but I know. Yeah, so I didn't know, no, but I knew something was amiss. But anyway, um, and here's the thing: I wanted what I saw down the street. I wanted that opulent, seemingly comfortable life, right? And then the first people to discourage me, the first people to literally tell me that's not possible, wasn't the white people. It was literally the people who look like me, right? Right behind them were the white liberals treating us like, pet projects. They would come teach us things, oh, let's teach the little Negroes how to swim. So, yeah, I thank you, white liberals. You taught me how to swim. Um, you came down, and it was one summer they gather you at the public pool, and then they teach all the little poor coloreds how to swim, you know. Don't ask to live in my neighborhood though. But and then as I went into corporate America and all that stuff, I realized that white liberals were comfortable with me being successful as long as they could supervise the success. Yeah, so they had to have control. They had to measure it. Like I couldn't just be out there trying to be like, the CEO of the company. You go, yeah. But I asked too many questions. I asked too many questions, and I don't care if I piss you off. So I don't do well with that type of supervision. And so yeah, and then you talk about the soft bigotry of low expectations. Let's talk about the high school I went to, subpar, subpar. The after school program, subpar, all of it, below standard. It's almost like poverty is romanticized in a way, like struggle was culture. Like you literally battle rapping how poor you were to like one up people, and it's like, why is that cool, right? Nobody was preparing us to compete, not even our own families weren't preparing us to compete. The education system wasn't preparing us to compete. Nothing. There was very little around us that literally said you can actually do it, and here's how, right? And I knew even then. I mean, even no child of mine was ever going to be subjected to this, right? I'm raising beasts. That's it. It ain't going to be no, the color of my skin, it's so hard out here. No, because like I said earlier, high expectations are respect. That is respect. Standards are love. When you set standards and high expectations, that is what you want. You don't want people telling you, well, we're going to dumb it down for you. Preparation is the empowerment you need to thrive, right. And I mean this whole la and stupidity about we gotta make things simpler because these people are just naturally underperforming. No, they're not naturally underperforming. You ill prepared them, right? You knew we were ill prepared. you know our parents may not have known because they were just used to this world, right? And no excuse for them, but that's what they grew up in, right? You weren't going to get better from that because they had no understanding of what better was, right? Now, let's talk about the insult. When politicians pander with their cultural cosplay, right? Hot sauce, forced slang, awkward southern drawls. And I'm pretty sure as I said all of that, people came right to your mind. Boom. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Sound bites tailored for black audiences. Oh yeah. Go tell it on the mountain. It's embarrassing. Yeah, they think we need seasonings instead of standards. We need symbolism. Like where symbolism doesn't replace substance. I'm sorry, right? And then comes the policy, right? Lower emission standards, lower test requirements, lower professional thresholds. What are we doing? What are we doing? And then we wonder why there's a suspicion attached to achievement. Every time you walk into upper management, people wondering, oh, did you earn your way in here or were you handed it? Where was the bar lowered to get your dumb black behind in this room or did you earn it? Right. And I can always tell the difference. I can pretty much tell within 5 minutes if that black person sitting in upper management was placed there or if they beasted their way there. I can always tell the difference. There was this guy, side story, right quick. It was at my New York when I was working at my corporate job in New York. And he was like, really, he talked like this. And he was a black dude. I mean, he was black. He was dark skinned black dude. Glasses, tall, bald head. And he just talked like this. They're very, very nerdy, right? And I remember the first day he started, he had an office across from me. And I sat down and I just saw this person bolt out the door. And he walks up to me, "Hi, I'm Michael." And I'm like, okay. Very imposing, very present, I'm here. And I'm like, okay, what's up, Michael? He earned his way into there. hmm Michael earned his way into that office he was sitting in. Yeah. Michael wasn't handed that. Now the person who was handed it was the black chick. She was handed it because she didn't know management if it bit her on the butt. And then she would complain, and then if you push back a little bit, it becomes personal. And what are we doing? What are we doing? So you want people to just say yes, and say yes, even though they know that's probably gonna not give you the outcome you want. You just want your team to say yes. Well, that's not how that works, right? It's a team effort. So you do want a dissenting opinion in the room to give you another perspective just in case. Just in case. Right? But to take it personal and then, to start sulking and acting like a child and I don't have time for that. I don't have time for that. But yeah, you can always tell when a person period, but especially a black person earn their way into a room. You can definitely tell. I can always tell. I can literally fish it out within seconds, right? But anyway, and by doing that, you don't fix inequality. You brand folks as fragile, right? Because you're not prepared to meet the moment, right? And so now you want all of these rules to make you feel good and to massage you. And no, that's not how this works. You know, black people, black Americans, poor people, whatever demographic you want to throw at the wall this week, they're not inherently incapable. That's the stupidest thing ever. The issue has never been intelligence. The issue has been discipline. The issue has been exposure. It has been structure, and it has been cultural. hmm We don't know what we don't know. Period. You know. Another little side conversation. I had this woman on Facebook once. Talking about how stupid her sister was, and she didn't know what a debit card was or a checking account or something like that. And I was like, look, instead of bashing your sister for not knowing what that was, be glad she figured it out. Now she knows. You don't know what you don't know, right? If you've never been exposed to what a debit card is, what a checking account is, and how it works and how to use it, then duh. Doesn't mean you're stupid. It just means you didn't know. But lowering the bar doesn't fix any of that, right? It's literally it literally cements. It cements what they think, right? Or what you believe about yourself, right? So over time, the message got louder, which is so crazy that the further along we get in our country, the louder these messages get. Like, you are oppressed, you are disadvantaged, you are permanently behind, you need protection. And when you reject that narrative, when you're like me, when you are a melanated American who rejects that, who says, I'm not playing that stupid game with you, you then become the problem. We talked about this in the whole Black History Month video that I did. Yeah. Black History Month used to mean something, and now it's just a propaganda tool for the Democrats, for the white liberal, for the white academia. If it hasn't been sanitized and run through them and approved by them, it's not coming out of your black mouth. That's it. But so yeah, folks like myself become the problem, right? The person who actually grew up in government subsidized housing becomes the problem because I wouldn't go along to get along, right? And the person who actually knows what it feels like for the government to regulate nearly every aspect of my life, yeah, you're not the person with the barometer. No, not you. You have no perspective here that we want to hear. Why would I want more of that from an adult? Oh, and why would I want more of that type of treatment as an adult? Big government doesn't feel like compassion when you're living under it. It really doesn't. You know, these same people screaming, "Oh, never had to deal with pissy elevators. You never had to deal with drug paraphernalia in the staircase and people domestic violence situations in the stair. You never have to deal with that. You don't have to deal with gunshots. You don't have to deal with no heat in the winter. You don't have to deal with that stuff, right? You don't have to deal with roaches. You don't have to deal with that stuff. So stop it. Stop it. Stop it. It's literal supervision to make sure you stay in your place. And I've never been able to stay in my place. Not going to do it, right? We are literally free people in 2026. So let's be clear about one good thing. We are not enslaved, folks. We are not under Jim Crow. We are not legally segregated anymore. And I think we messed it up because it should have never been integration. It should have been desegregation because it's a different approach. And we could talk about that at another time. But we are free citizens in 2026. We have the internet. You have the world at your fingertips. My phone is stuck on this thingy right here, but you get it. We have the internet. We have the whole world at our fingertips on our $2,000 devices. Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. We have access to education in ways that we've never had it before. You can literally sit at home in your drawers and get a college degree. Where they do that at, right? We have more access to capital now than we ever have. We have voting power that we are misused and abused for decades, right? Our ancestors did the work so we could operate freely. And I refuse, absolutely 1000% refuse to dishonor that freedom by pretending we are powerless. Yes, racism will always exist. I don't know why we're worried about racism. Racism is not going to stop your bag. Racism is not going to stop you from succeeding or thriving. Some bonehead with a low IQ and a stupid view of the world. Why is this the topic? Why is this the conversation? Right? I don't give a damn if you're racist. It has nothing to do with me. That's your problem, right? Bias will exist, but here's the bigger thing: who cares about bias and racism and bigots and all that stuff? You have agency. When you know you have agency, all of that is just who cares? And when you remove agency from the conversation, you remove responsibility, because we don't realize in those moments when you face boneheads in the world, you're not responsible for what's coming out of their mouth. You're responsible for you. In those moments, you're responsible for you. Right. And then the political mismanagement of Black Americans who hold an enormous amount of political power that they have not used to their advantage, right? We have a very decisive voting bloc. I mean, albeit not very brilliant, but very decisive, right? Literally, the Black vote can swing an election for Democrats, right? And yet, for decades, our votes have been assumed, right? I get it to this day. I got it yesterday. Someone's in the store complaining, and then they, about Trump, and then they think that I'm anti-Trump just because I'm in the store with them. Like, ninja. Absolutely not. You will not play that game with me. And then, to be bold enough to say, well, I don't agree with that. And I'm not in the mood to argue with your emotions. I'm just not. But this unconditional loyalty creates complacency. And it has created complacency. If a party knows that you're going to vote for them no matter what, why compete for it? Just go pander to them, give them a couple of rap concerts and yo it up and talk about Wonder Bread. And we know we got it, right? Why compete? I mean, they won't. They'll pander, they'll perform, they'll lower expectations. That's not empowerment, that's containment. So anyway, being poor is not a race. It's a condition, it's a mindset, right? And conditions can do what? Change. You have the power to change your conditions. But again, y'all want an easy ride. It's not going to be easy. And you don't change anything by lowering standards. They change by raising capacity, right? Right? It's your personal constitution, right? You got to have a personal constitution, right? And in 2026, you can build a business from your phone, literally. You can start a Shopify store with a couple $100s, and sometimes I think it's like $1. You can start for $1 and then do like a monthly payment plan. You only got to sell 3 whatever a month. 3 cups, 3 t-shirts, 3 scarves, whatever you want to do, right? You want to sell what are those things? Workshops or whatever. Okay, right. You can educate yourself from your couch. I don't want to hear it. You can connect globally without leaving your home. And I don't hear nothing about business loans and they discriminated. There's no section on a business loan that says race. There's no section. And most of it is done automatically, right? But here's the problem. I don't know if it's true or not, but how about you name your kids a little less, because it's not even ethnic. These are just ridiculous names. How about you not give your kids ridiculous names? One thing to have an ethnic name, it's another to just have a stupid name, right? So if your kids have a stupid name, yeah, the AI may not understand it. So yeah, but it has really nothing to do with that, right? If you meet the standard, you will probably get what you're asking for, right? But you got to do the work, right? And you can literally interact with the world right from your living room, right from your home studio or your bedroom or your bathroom, wherever you want to do it, right? So and I'm supposed to believe with all of that access, I'm supposed to believe that the ultimate barrier is the amount of melanin in my skin. That's the ultimate barrier? Are we really going to do that? Nah, we're not going to do that, are we? The ultimate barrier is believing you're limited. And white liberals have done a great job of having you all believe that who you are inherently is a burden, is a disability. The soft bigotry of low expectations is not compassion. It's quiet condescension. It tells Black Americans that excellence is optional. It tells us discipline is oppressive. It tells us that standards are unfair. And I absolutely 1000% reject that. I reject the idea that my skin is a handicap. The color of my skin is not a disability. I reject the idea that lowering the bar is love. I reject the idea that dependence equals dignity. We are free people in 2026, free to build, free to compete, free to think, free to rise. And until we stop accepting symbolism over substance, identity over policy, and pity over preparation, we will continue to be managed instead of empowered. The soft bigotry of low expectations ends the moment we decide it ends. But it starts with us. That's all I got. That's all I got. I mean, am I wrong? Am I wrong? I'm not wrong. I know I'm not wrong. And I was talking to this woman the other day in my live stream, and she literally was trying to convince me that Donald Trump is trying to circumvent the Civil Rights Act by getting rid of redundancies in the hiring process. And I'm sitting there like, she can't be serious. And what was she reading the article from? Politico? One of these left-leaning outlets, and clearly Very choice words that these people had. Very, very, very choice words. But nobody wants to have that conversation. But let's give some glaring examples of the bigotry of low expectations.
said no, she has to go.
What's something that you always carry with you?
Hot sauce.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you getting information right now?
Hot sauce.
Hot sauce in my bag, swag?
Hot sauce.
Really?
Yes.
Now listen, I
yes.
just want you to know, people are going to see this and say, okay, she's pandering to black people.
Okay. Is it working?
Are you not?
No, seriously, hot sauce. I've been eating a lot of hot sauce, a lot of raw peppers and hot sauce.
That's why you're coughing. You might need to slow down a
I
little.
need
Hot
to, yeah, I'm having a rebellion against it because I think it keeps my immune system strong. I really do. I think hot sauce is good for you in moderation. Let's not go.
I just like it.
Well, my grandmother
like
used to say, "Go in hot, go out hot." So just be careful.
Hot sauce. I have a question. If Donald Trump gave the same answer to that question, hey, what do you keep in your bag? What do you keep in your wallet? You know, whatever. What do you know? What do you like to dab on your food? And he said hot sauce. It would be wall to wall coverage. And if Donald Trump said this, oh my God, we would just blow the whole institution up.
Young black kids growing up in the Bronx who don't even know what the word computer is. They don't know. They don't know these things. And I want the world open up to all of them, because when you have their diverse voices innovating solutions through technology, then you're really addressing society's broader challenges.
As a person who was once a young black kid who spent many summers in the South Bronx at my grandmother's apartment in the, what was it, the Tinton houses? I forgot the name of it. I think those are the name of the projects. And in the projects in the summer, and then when they say what they really want to say and then they get any pushback, they start to moonwalk, right? She moonwalked, Gavin moonwalked. It's so stupid. You said what you really meant. This is what she really meant. Not that whole, oh, I didn't mean it. No, you said it and you meant it. Please stop. Please stop. You know, you sat there, you made this stupid comment because it's truly how you feel. This is what you really believe of black people. You believe black people in the South Bronx are so dumb that they don't even know what it is. They don't even know what it is, let alone aspire to it. They're so dumb they can't even aspire to it because they don't even know it's there. That's what you really believe, lady. Now, she's just as good as a white liberal here.
I have a friend who had a Christmas party, Christmas Eve every year, and she asked me to make the greens for her party every year. And I am not lying to you that I would make so many greens that I'd need to wash them in the bathtub. I'm telling you the truth.
Does she talk to white suburban women about casseroles? I'm sure she doesn't. I'm sure she doesn't. You know, and when all else fails, you could just yo it up on the All the Smoke podcast.
But also, you know, it was also about paying the bills, man. And it was just like hustling. And so I was out there kind of raising myself.
turning on the TV, started, just getting obsessed, sitting there with the Wonder Bread and 5 stacks of,
it's like the White
peanut
Stack
butter
5
and
story.
Come on.
Yeah, I told a good funny one, didn't I? I told a funny one.
Kraft macaroni and cheese. That's how I
Man,
grew
man.
up, bro.
Are you talking about me?
Young YG.
That's it.
YG,
But
man, I do
every
it. I
day,
do it.
every day in the backyard, just bouncing the basketball, throwing the ball against the wall until the ball is just like fraying, man, and your arms
Entertaining
fall
yourself.
off. That's it, whole thing. So just and then then this student that was shitty student is in the back with his head down. All of a sudden, started throwing the baseball a little faster than everyone else. And started, make a few free throws because I was sitting there practicing 500 of them every damn night. And in high school, I look up in the stands, my dad's back up there.
Okay, dope.
And it's like, man, and then he's bringing his friends and you're captain of the team and you're like, gee, and it just saved me. And it
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Y'all was sitting with the thing, you know what I'm saying, dog? You know what I'm saying? I was roughing it, bro. I was roughing it. We know Gavin Newsom ain't no damn. Oh, God. I can't stand it. I can't stand it. And then, this is my favorite. Bigotry of low expectation moment. This has to be my favorite. This has to be one of my. There's the several I could pick from, but first of all, Lee, 5 stacks. You know damn well, if you growing up in a poor household, you ain't getting no 5. You lucky if you get a sandwich. Don't we sit there trying to eat no stack of the Wonder Bread. No, you get to eat 1 sandwich. We got to make this last for the week or for the next 3 days or whatever. You eat no 5 sandwiches, motherfucker. You eat 1. Get out of my face. drink some water or something. Anyway, so this has to be my favorite of the favorites. And I'm sure there's a few other ones I could have pulled out of the rabbit, but this one was just so aspirational and so inspirational that I will just never forget it.
I don't feel no ways tired. I come too far from where I started from. Nobody told me that the road would be easy. I don't believe he brought me this far to leave me.
I don't feel no ways tired. Mind you, not too long before this. It wasn't that long before this that she was calling y'all black asses your black sons super predators. Wasn't that long before. Wasn't that long. It wasn't that long before that her husband signed the 1994 crime bill into law, which was drafted and sponsored by Joe Biden. It wasn't too long before. Wasn't that long before. I don't feel no ways tired. And y'all took y'all black behinds to the polls and still supported this woman. Y'all took y'all black selves to the polls and still voted for this woman. But AJ's the problem. AJ's the problem for pointing out this stupidity. This literal blatant bigoted behavior right in your faces. Mm-hmm. How do you atone for locking up people for minor drug offenses? How do you atone for that? Uh-huh. Now, I ain't defending no criminal no ways long, but a minor drug offense should not equal a life sentence. Like, what are we doing here? What are we doing? Right? So yeah. But she don't feel no ways tired. Here y'all go. Hillary Clinton. Let me just forget amnesia. The same thing y'all did with Biden. Biden literally locked y'all up. He stood on that house floor and said what he really thought. He don't want y'all next to his mama. He don't want y'all next to his children. He don't want you monkeys near him. 80-90% of the black vote. Joe Biden, Hillary Clinton. Insane. The mind game that has been played on the black community needs to be studied. Like, there needs to be a comprehensive study. You have black people in 2026 like Toure saying that it is okay for white liberals to call black conservatives and black ICE agents the N-word or any other racial epithet. It is okay for them to do it. You have black men like that literally saying that's okay. That's passable behavior. Yeah, the mind game that has been played on y'all should be studied. I'm pretty sure there's some scientific approach for whatever it is that they've done to y'all, but it's hilarious. And go ahead and continue to feel no ways tied. So what y'all got for 2028? So far we got a gay dude, we got the Indian woman, we got the white dude, and then we got who was the fourth? Oh, we got the dumb Hispanic from New York. So those are your four choices for the 2028 Democrat nominees for president. But again, we got to get through these midterms, so let's get through these midterms anyway. I thank you all for watching. I will see you all tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Rant Experience. Tonight's going to get a little deep. So yeah, a little deep, a little personal in our uncomfortable conversation tonight on the Rant Experience around suicide prevention and resources and why saying check on your strong friend is not enough. It's just not enough. And how we only reach out to folks after, or we only care after folks do the unthinkable, right? We don't just check in just to check in, and I understand we're busy, and it's not our obligation to take on people's problems, but if you just never even did the bare minimum, like what are we even talking about here? But anyway, so make sure y'all check that out tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's going to be a great show. And of course, all the good fun stuff will be there as well, but that'll be the deeper conversation. Anyway, if you'd like to support the channel, head on over to AJsRANTroom.com. That's AJsRANTroom.com. Look at our beautiful new hoodies. They're all cotton. They're pretty. They're pretty. See how pretty they are. I'm trying to get to AmFest, so if you'd like to support me getting there, you can scan this beautiful red QR code or go to givesendgo.com/AJsRantRoom. If you'd like to buy me a coffee, or in this case, a tea, you can go to buymeacoffee.com/AJsRantRoom or scan this beautiful QR code right there before your eyes. We also take offerings in the virtual collection plate at AJ's Rant on Cash App. And if you don't see this beautiful logo, you're at the wrong Cash App. So don't hit send unless you see this beautiful logo, AJ's Rant Room. And support me on my other socials. That is X, that is Instagram, that is YouTube, and that is TikTok. Hook a brother up, cross-pollinate, cross-check, do anything. But anyway, thank you all so much. I hope to see you all at 7 p.m. this evening. Please make sure you like this live. Make sure you share, comment. If you're a new subscriber, hit the notification bell. And I think that's all the housekeeping for today. I appreciate you all. Thank you so much. I apologize again for yesterday. And then not baby oil. Anyway, peace out, y'all. I'll catch y'all at 7 p.m. tonight. Later.